जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत Adi-Lil, chapter 5, verse number 35. कामाद्वेषाद् भयात् स्नेहाद् यथा भक्तेश्वरे मनः आवेश्य तदघं हित्वा बहवस्तद्गतिं गतः। कामाद्वेषाद् भयात् स्नेहाद् यथा भक्तेश्वरे मनः आवेश्य तदघं हित्वा बहवस्तद्गतिं गतः। कामाद्वेषाद् भयात् स्नेहाद् यथा भक्तेश्वरे मनः आवेश्य तदघं हित्वा बहवस्तद्गतिं गतः। Please recite. कामाद्वेषाद् भयात् स्नेहाद् आवेश्य तदघं हित्वा बहवस्तद्गतिं गतः। माताएं, कामाद्वेषाद् भयात् स्नेहा यथा भक्तेश्वर मनः आवेश्य तदघं हित्वा हस्तद्गतिं। Per word meaning: कामात्, influenced by lusty desire; द्वेषात्, by envy; भयात्, by fear; स्नेहात्, or by affection; यथा, as; bhaktya, by devotion; ईश्वरे, in the supreme personality of Godhead; manah, the mind; aveshya, fully absorbing; tat, that; agham, sinful activity; hitva, giving up; bahavaha, many; tat, that; gatim, destination; gataha, achieved. Translation, repeat after me. As through devotion to the Lord one can attain his abode. Many have attained that goal by abandoning their sinful activities and absorbing their minds in the Lord through lust, envy, fear or affection. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki. As the powerful sun by its glowing rays can purify all kinds of impurities, so the all spiritual personality of Godhead can purify all material qualities in a person he attracts. Even if one is attracted by Godhead in the mode of material lust, such attraction is converted into spiritual love of Godhead by His grace. Similarly, if one is related to the Lord in fear and animosity, he also becomes purified by the spiritual attraction of the Lord. Although God is great and the living entity is small, they are spiritual individuals. And therefore, as soon as there is a reciprocal exchange by the living entity's free will, at once the great spiritual being attracts the small living entity, thus freeing him from all material bondage. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 7.1.30. We will again continue the second verse also, because it's linked with that topic only. Verse number 36. Yadarinam priyanam cha prapyam ekam ivoditam tad brahma krishnayor aikyat kiranar kopama Juhu. Translation. Where it has been stated that the Lord's enemies and devotees attain the same destination, this refers to the ultimate oneness of Brahman and Lord Krishna. This may be understood by the analogy of the sun and the sunshine, in which Brahman is like the sunshine and Krishna himself is like the sun. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki. So this verse is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.278 of Srila Rupa Goswami, who further discusses the same topic in his Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Purva 5.41. There he refers to the Vishnu Puran 4.15.1, where Maitreya Muni asked Parashar in regard to Jaya and Vijay, how it was that Hiranyakashipu next became Ravana and enjoyed more material happiness than the demigods, but did not attain salvation. Although when he became Shishupal, quarreled with Krishna and was killed, he attained salvation and merged into the body of Lord Krishna. Parashar replied that Hiranyakashipu failed to recognize Lord Narsimhadev as Lord Vishnu. He thought that Narsimhadev was some living entity who had acquired such opulence by various pious activities. Being overcome by the mode of passion, he considered Lord Narsimhadev no ordinary living entity. Not understanding his form, nevertheless, because Hiranyakashipu was killed by the hands of Lord Narsimhadev, in his next life he became Ravana and had proprietorship of unlimited opulence. As Ravana with unlimited material enjoyment, he could not accept Lord Rama as the supreme personality of Godhead, as the personality of Godhead. Therefore, even though he was killed by Rama, he did not attain Sayujya or oneness with the body of the Lord. In his Ravana body, he was too much attracted to Rama's wife, Janaki. And because of that attraction, he was able to see Lord Rama. But instead of accepting Lord Rama as an incarnation of Vishnu, Ravana thought him an ordinary living being when killed by the hands of Rama. Therefore, he got the privilege of taking birth as Shishupal, who had such immense opulence that he could think himself a competitor to Krishna. Although Shishupal was also envious, always envious of Krishna, he frequently uttered the name of Krishna and always thought of the beautiful features of Krishna. Thus, by constantly thinking and chanting of Krishna, even unfavorably, he was cleansed of the contamination of his sinful activities. When Shishupal was killed by the Sudarshan Chakra of Krishna as an enemy, his constant remembrance of Krishna dissolved the reactions of his vices, and he attained salvation by becoming one with the body of the Lord. From this incident, one can understand that even a person who thinks of Krishna as an enemy and is killed by him may be liberated by becoming one with the body of Krishna. What then must be the destination of a devotees who always think favorably of Krishna as their master or friend? These devotees must attain a situation better than Brahmaloka, the impersonal bodily effulgence of Krishna. Devotees cannot be situated in the impersonal Brahman effulgence into which impersonalists desire to merge. The devotees are placed in Vaikuntha Loka or Krishna Loka. This discussion between Maitreya Muni and Parashar Muni centered on whether devotees come down into the material world in every millennium like Jaya and Vijay, who were cursed by the Kumaras to the effect. In the course of these instructions to Maitreya about Hiranyakashipu and Ravana and Shishupal, Parashar did not say that these demons were formerly Jaya and Vijay. He simply described the transmigration through 3 lives. It is not necessary for the Vaikuntha associates of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to come to take the roles of his enemies in all the millenniums in which he appears. The fall down of Jaya and Vijay occurred in a particular millennium. Jaya and Vijay do not come down in every millennium to act as a demons. To think that some associate of the Lord fall down from Vaikuntha in every millennium to become demons is totally incorrect. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has all the tendencies that may be found in the living entity, for he is the chief living entity. Therefore, it is natural that sometimes Lord Vishnu wants to fight. Just as he has the tendencies to create, to enjoy, to befriend, to accept a mother and father and so on. He also has the tendency to fight. Sometimes important landlords and kings keep wrestlers with whom they practice mock fighting. And Vishnu makes similar arrangements. The demons who fight with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the material world are sometimes his associates. When there is scarcity of demons and the Lord wants to fight, he instigates some of his associates of Vaikuntha to become and play as demons. When it is said that Shishupala merged into the body of Krishna, it should be noted that in this case, he was not Jai or Vijay. He was actually a demon. In his Brihad Bhagavat Amrita, Srila Sanatana Goswami has explained that the attainment of salvation by merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord cannot be accepted as the highest success in life. Because demons like Kansa, who were famous for killing Brahmanas and cows, attained that salvation. For devotees, such salvation is abominable. Devotees are actually in a transcendental position, whereas non-devotees are candidates for hellish conditions of life. There is always a difference between the life of a devotee and life of a demon, and their realization are as different as heaven and hell. Demons are always accustomed to being malicious towards devotees and to killing Brahmanas and cows. For demons, merging into the Brahman effulgence may be very glorious, but for devotee it is hellish. A devotee's aim in life is to attain perfection in loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who aspire to merge into the Brahman effulgence are as abominable as demons. Devotees who aspire to associate with the Supreme Personality of Supreme Lord, to render him transcendental loving service, are far superior. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjalashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So it was a pretty long purport in this 36th verse, and the first 35th verse which we have recited is from Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto 1st chapter 30th verse. Kamad dveshat bhayat snehat, by lusty desire, by envy, by fear or by affection. Okay, yata bhakteshvara manah, one can achieve his desired goal, okay, even by these emotions. The next verse, 31st verse is Gopyat kamat bhayat kamso dveshat chaidya adya nirpayah sambandhat vrishni vamsha vrishni vayam bhaktya vayam vibho. So gopis through lusty desire, Kansa by fear, Gopyat kamah bhayat kamso, dveshat, and by envy, Shishupal, and by relation, the Vrishnis, and by affection, Pandavas, and by devotion, devotees like me. This is what Narad Muni was saying, is saying in this Srimad Bhagavatam verse. So, the object of meditation is the Supreme Personality of God. When your object of meditation is the Lord Krishna especially, your mood may be something else. The mood may not be favorable sometimes. Still, because the object of meditation is so potent and so powerful that it can liberate that person. Khirata hunandra pulinda pulakasha abir shumbha yavana khasadaya. There are many people who are from lower class. Khirata hunandra pulinda pulakasha. Even these people get liberated just by coming in touch in the association of devotees. If these lowest people can get purified just by taking the association of devotees of the Lord, then what to talk about the Supreme Lord Himself? If someone or somehow or other someone gets connected with Lord, he may be demon, he may be a faithful person or faithless or ignorant person, still he will be purified. Still he will be liberated. That's why devotee should never be hopeless. Sometimes while practicing devotional service, maybe for pretty long time, we tend to become hopeless. Because initially what happens, you feel the mercy of the Lord very evidently. And later on it seems that Lord has kept me alone or what now? No mercy nowadays. Because the definition of mercy for us may be different. But Lord never ever, He never forgets, first of all. Okay? What living entity can do is that living entity can forget Lord. One thing a living entity can do very well, but Lord cannot do that. That is, a living entity can forget Lord, but Lord can never forget living entity. Janmadi yasya yatah anvayat itarateshu abhigya sora tene brahma ridaya adi kavye muhyanti yata surya. By Lord's power, potency, other living entities get bewildered. But Lord never ever gets bewildered, neither He forgets. He is always witness. He is an eternal witness. Upadrishta, Anumanta. भरता भोक्ता महेश्वरा परमात्मेपि चापि उक्ता देहेस्मिन् पुरुषः परः. Lord residing in every living entity's heart, every atom. And if he is a permanent witness, how he can be inattentive then? He cannot be inattentive. If you want to become a witness, you have to be attentive of particular action so that you can become witness. And Lord is eternally a witness for every living entity. As such, in material world, there are different witnesses. Surya, Agni, Kham, Maru, Deha, Soma, Sandhya, Hani, Dishaha, Kam, Kuhu, Swayam, Dharmamiti, Yete, Daihasya, Sakshinaha, Sakshi. Yamaraj speaks this verse. There are different, I think Yamduta speaks this verse. There are different Sakshis. Surya, Agni, that is sun god, who is Sakshi, he is the witness of our actions. Surya, Agni, fire god. Kham, ether. Maruddeva, Vayu. Somaha, Chandrama, moon. Sandhya, Ahani, the three Sandhyas. Ahani, day and night. Dishaha, all the directions. Kam, Kuhu, Dharti and Jal, water and earth. Swayam Dharmamiti and even Yamaraj. There are 12 witnesses as such. But Lord is the, even these people can mistake, can do mistake also. And you may have heard some of the other pastimes where even Yamdutas sometimes do mistake. But Lord never performs mistake. He is a supreme witness. And that's why He is all purifying, and somehow or the other if someone gets connected with the Lord, he will be liberated. That's why devotee should never be hopeless. He is always should be hopeful. There is no point to become hopeless at all. If the Lord can liberate such kind of people who are demons, Swa alpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. In Bhagavad-gita, Krishna says, even if someone performs some dharmic activity, Swa alpam api asya dharmasya trayate, I will save him from big fear, from the biggest fear. ईश्वर स्वभाव भक्तेरा नालय अपराध अल्प सेवा बहुमाने आत्म पर्यंत प्रसाद कृष्ण तोमार हना जदी बले कबार माया बंध है ते कृष्ण तारे करे पार. So we are reciting here Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and if there are no Bengali verses, you will not feel like Chaitanya Charitamrita is going on. So deliberately I put this verse. It's from Chaitanya Charitamrita itself, Madhya Lila. Ishvara Swabhava, that is the Swabhava of Lord. Bhaktera Nalaya Aparada, he never take offenses of a living entity. He never ever take. Even if someone performs offense, there are 64 offenses towards deity. Okay? These are not written by Lord. These are written by devotees. Okay? The pure devotees who have stated, Acharyas, okay? Like Narad Muni, and then contemporary Acharyas also wrote this. Lord never wrote it. Even in Bhagavad-gita, you will never find that Krishna is listing some offenses. Okay? So Krishna never take offenses of a living entity. Alpa seva bahu mane. Contradicting to this, if someone performs some service for Lord, alpa seva, we may forget what we have done for Lord. Okay? I think there is hardly anyone, or there will be no one, no devotee will count how many times he pay obeisances in a month. No one counts, right? Neither we count how many names we have taken in our chanting rounds throughout our year. We don't keep that records. Okay? But Lord, because being eternal witness, always attentive, we may be inattentive in chanting. Okay, sometimes even we may be inattentive. SriSriRadhaRasbihari Bhagavan ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaurnitai Bhagavan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Lord being always attentive, we may be inattentive in our service or chanting or reading whatever, but Lord always keep attention. Okay. Apanna samsritim ghoran yannama vivashato granan. Vivash hokar bhi koi Bhagwan ka naam le. Forcefully. Krishna counts that. Yad bhibeti swayam bhayam. Even fear will fear that person. So Lord, being so merciful, even some service in living entity performs, he never forgets. Atma Paryanta Prasada. He gives his mercy without differentiating. That is the greatness of the Lord. The next verse, Krishna Tomar Hana Jadi Bale. Even someone who once says that Krishna, I am yours. Krishna? He said Krishna? आप कृष्ण बोलिए पहले, आप मुझे बोलेंगे तो आई एम योर्स. कृष्णा बोलिए, आई एम योर्स. So even once, if someone says Krishna yours, Krishna will never forget. Okay. It's like underworld. अपनी इच्छा से आओगे पर जाओगे अपनी इच्छा से नहीं. वैसे ही one can come by his choice in ISKCON, or you can join Krishna conscious movement by his own choice. No one is going to force. Even someone forces, it doesn't going to make much sense. But by his choice. But once you start chanting rounds, once you start following four regulative principles, even someone desires to enjoy material life, he will not be able to. Just imagine a devotee going to a movie, a theater. Now just he is just watching a movie which is a fiction or action thriller movie, and now when he sees that movie, what will he will remember first? ये सब झूठ है. The first thing coming is in his consciousness is that this is false. Maya hai sab. Now how he will going to enjoy movie now? Okay, because the audience, even the fantasy movies, they get so absorbed in, then only they will enjoy. The person, a devotee, will not be able to even a 1 hour or 2 hour movie also. What to talk about living throughout life without devotion? If you have practiced a devotion earlier, Krishna will never leave. That hope should always be there. There is again here in the purport, sometimes, many times this is repeated, that the demons, Lord Krishna never differentiates between devotees and as well as demons. He gives liberation to both. Favorably or unfavorably, someone recites the holy name of the Lord, or remembers Lord, or being absorbed in Lord, he will get liberation. But there is a difference between these two kind of liberation. When a demon gets liberation, demon doesn't get an embrace of Lord. Okay. A demon will not be able to play with Lord. A demon will not be able to dance in Ras Leela. Okay. But a devotee, when he gets liberation, he can befriend Lord, he can dance with Lord, he can laugh with Lord, he can eat with Lord. So there is definitely a difference between the liberation between a devotee and a demon's liberation. So whenever such statements comes that Krishna One who remembers Krishna favorably or unfavorably, he will be liberated. One has to remember one verse from Bhagavatam, Vadanti yat tattvavidas tattvam, yajnanam advayam, brahmeti, paramatmeti, bhagavaniti, shabdate. Even the yogis achieve Lord, even the impersonalist achieves Lord, even the devotees achieves Lord. But there is a difference in the realization. There are 3 levels of realization. First realization is Brahmeti, impersonalist. One can compare this with sunlight. If someone comes in contact with sunlight, it can be said that, okay, he is coming in contact with sun, in one sense. So sunlight means impersonalism, impersonal realization. Sun globe means Paramatma realization. And sun God personality, who is riding on his chariot with his horses, with his holy. He has also his own kingdom. Okay. When one realizes that sort of realization, that is Bhagavan kind of realization. That is the ultimate realization. So all this realization is of the same object. That is the supreme absolute truth. That's why it is Advayam. There is no difference in it in this sense. That's why such statements come that one meditates Lord favorably or unfavorably, he is going to achieve Lord. And there is a verse in even Bhishma Stuti. Vijaya Ratha Kutumba Atatotre Dhritahaya Rashminita Shriye Kshaniye Dhritahaya Rashminita Shriye Kshaniye Bhagavati Ratirastu me mumurshor Bhagavati Ratirastu me mumurshor Yamiha niriksha Khatagataha Swarupam Yamiha niriksha Hatagataha Swarupam. So in the Bhishma Suti, Bhishma reveals a very confidential secret that many of the people also during those times don't know. Because many people were blaming Krishna. Even Gandhari was blaming Krishna, that Krishna, if you want, you could have stopped the war. So ultimate cause of war is Krishna. Okay, Sarva Karana Karanam. Okay. Even today, there are many people who blames Krishna. Krishna के वजह से इतना बड़ा युद्ध हो गया. कितने लोग मारे गए. If Krishna could have stopped, this bloodshed never would happen. So people blame Krishna, but Bhishma very well, revealed the confidential secret. Vijaya Ratha Kutumba Attatotre. Vijaya Ratha, Arjun's Ratha. Arjun is called Vijaya. And Krishna, the way one protects one's family, Krishna protected Arjun and his Rath. Dhritahaya Rashmini Tachriya Kshaniye. And what he was doing? He was being a Sarthi. He was controlling the horses of Arjuna's Ratha. Bhagavati Ratirastu me. Bhishma is saying, I want to meditate on that Lord who is eager to protect his devotee. Yamiha Niraksha. And that Lord is so merciful that the warriors of the opposite party, just by glancing Lord Krishna, they died and they got liberated and they got stated in their own spiritual position, Swarupam. So such Lord Krishna is so merciful. And that is also a secret in Bhagavad-gita. When Arjun orders Krishna, sportingly his orders actually here, Senayor Ubhayor Madhe Ratham Sthape Me Achyuta यावादेता निरीक्ष्यहं योद्धुकामानवस्थितं कर्मयास योद्धव्यं योऽस्मिन् रणे समुद्यमे योत्समानान् वेक्ष्यहं येत्रे अत्र समागतः धातराष्ट्ररणे हन्युस्तन्मे क्षेमतरं भवेत्. So Arjun orders Krishna, get my rath between these armies, between these two armies. Now Arjun is saying, I want to see. Now how Arjun is going to see? There are so many Akshauni Senas. More than 14, 15 Akshauni Senas are there. How is going to see that? Each and every individual is not possible for Arjuna. Okay, this is not possible for Arjuna. Vedahan samatitani vartamanani cha Arjuna bhavishyani bhutani mam tu vedana kashana. Krishna shows the difference between Arjuna and himself. He said, I know everything. I know the past, present and future of all the living entities. So actually when Arjuna is saying, ordering Krishna that please keep my ratha, I want to see all this. Actually Arjuna is making Krishna to glance all the entities there. All the people who are assembled to fight against Arjuna. Because Krishna would have glanced all his party members, Pandavas party members. But what about Kauravas? Even they should get liberation. So that is Arjuna's desire. So devotee is more merciful here. That's why Bhaktar Bhakta Jana Priya. Vishnu, this is in pastime of Durvasa Muni, he said, what to talk about my devotee? A devotee is also my favorite. So here, this is also revealed in Bhishma Stuti, that Lord Krishna even liberates the warriors who are fighting against him. That merciful Lord is. Okay. No differentiation. Then what to talk about? In this purport, and many times you may have came across this line, what to talk about a devotee then? If a demons can liberate it, then what to talk about a devotee who is engaged in devotional service? Evam vratah swapriyanam kiritya jatanuraga ditachitta uchaihi hasati atharodati ravati gayati unmadavan nityati lokabahya. A devotee who is engaged in the service of the Lord, and especially a devotee who is in the bhava stage. Hasati atharodati ravati gayati. While chanting the holy name of the Lord, he laughs. He chants loudly. Ravati, he cries. Rodati, he cries. Ravati, he gets agitated. Unmadavan nityati, he dances like a madman. What about such devotee? His liberation, you cannot compare with others. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, especially in the Ante-Lila, some 3 to 4 days before, I was just having a conversation with my crow brahmachari in bookstall regarding Chaitanya Charitamrit, because one of our devotee was reading Chaitanya Charitamrit. And I was also very happy to see that. And I was just having a conversation that if someone misses Chaitanya Charitamrita, especially Ante-Lila, because in Ante-Lila, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrates the madness of Krishna Prem. The climax, the epitome of Krishna Bhakti. What we are aspiring for. Like someone who is studying, and if he don't have aim properly, then he starts changing from this course to that course, this diploma to that diploma. And sometimes people are very, they are very proud to tell others, I have done MBA, I have done this and have that, and I'm working in a bank and that. Hare, you have done MBA, then why you work in bank? That shows such person is very confused. He was not aware of what to do. At least most of his time he was not aware. So when you don't have proper aim, and when you don't know the essence or the climax position or the the real goal of our life properly, then the person gets bewildered. So that's why the Ante-Lila, when I was talking about the essence, if someone misses, he is missing a real thing. Especially Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, because Srimad Bhagavatam, almost all sampradayas read. Okay. And then another devotee was, telling, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime is so glorious, other sampradaya may be reading, these books also. We know what to talk about other sampradayas. At least our sampradaya, all the devotees, if they read, that will be great. So it's sometimes unfortunate to see that devotees don't study Srila Prabhupada books, and which is the essence. And that's why people, many times when people don't sincerely, and when repeatedly one studies, especially one have to be repeatedly studying those books, then we will never be bewildered from the goal. And such type of statements you will find, that what about that great devotee, if the demons can get liberated. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrates what about a Bhava Bhakta. Sanatana Goswami in the teachings in the Madhya Lila, 24th chapter, he is explaining the Lakshana of Bhava Bhakta. And in that Lakshana he is reciting a verse. Recite with me. Shantir avyartha kalatvam viraktir manashunyata ashabandha samutkantha namagane sadaruchihi asaktistad gunakhyane pritistad vasati sthale ityadaya anubhavaha syurjata bhavankure. So a devotee will never get confused when he understands this verse. Who is a Bhava Bhakta? Either हम में वो भाव आया है नहीं, या फिर दूसरा अगर कोई depict कर रहा है तो ये सच में है या नहीं. Okay? Sometimes people externally depicts. Many people you will see professional also Bhagavat reciters. While reciting the Bhagavat itself they cry. Sometimes they sing bhajan and they are sobbing at the same time. And the audience gets so enamored by such kind of gesture of that Bhagavat Kathakar. And they get influenced. Wow, kya Bhagavat Katha hai? What a devotee is. But we don't know the internal mood. And Sanatana Goswami, when he was explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he clearly says that how to practice Bhava Bhakti, externally one should be practicing Vaidhi Bhakti. He should be respecting the regulations, rules and regulations, principles stated by the Acharyas. That is Vaidhi Bhakti. But internally one should have the mood of a Bhava Bhakta. उल्टा नहीं होना चाहिए. Externally Raga Bhakti or Bhava Bhakti, and internally nothing there is. That is a very dangerous position. Even for that person who is depicting it and people who are following them. Sometimes people get so enamored. Oh, what a Bhagavat Katha that person does. Okay? And that Bhagavat Kathakar is wearing a proper, Sherwani dress, and our Sukhdev Goswami wear nothing almost. Very detached. Yad yad acharya sreshta tatta devatora jana. So Bhagavat Katha, even Srila Prabhupada repeatedly used to say that there are so many professional reciters, Bhagavat reciters, and that's why people never become devotees. So here this verse said first quality of a Bhava Bhakta, Shantir. One should be tolerating. He should be able to tolerate all the insult, all the criticism, mana, apamana, shunya, tulya, mitrari, pakshayo. Number one quality. Number two quality, avyartha kalatvam. He never wastes his time. Never ever waste even one moment of his life. जब करते वक्त रील नहीं देखते हैं. जैसे sometimes we are multitasking, chanting also and left hand mobile also. Okay. What to talk about left hand? Even in the right hand, the finger has no job. No, this finger has no job. That's why reels. Avyartha kalatvam. Okay. Not a single moment one is wasting. That is a symptom of a bhav bhakta. Asha bandha, always in hopeful of Lord. He is always hopeful. One day I will get the mercy. One day I will get the mercy of the Lord. And that's why he is never morose. He is never morose. Viraktir, he is detached from sense gratification. Mana shunyata, he never expects respect. He may sometimes accept respect, but he never expects respect. Nam samutkantha, always eager to attain the mercy of the Lord. Laulyam, always greedy to attain Lord's mercy. Nam gane sadaruchi, always enjoying the bliss of chanting the holy name of the Lord. He is always interested in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Always, whenever he gets time, he chants the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Asakti, he is attached to the Lord and devotees. Tad guna akhyane. Asakti tad guna akhyane. He is always attached to glorify Lord. Pritis tad vasati sthale. He is always residing in Vrindavan, or a place where Krishna has performed pastime, or a temple of Lord Krishna. So we are very fortunate. Itti adnyo anubhavasyurjata bhavankure. If these are the symptoms of a devotee, one can understand that a seed of Krishna Prem is there in that person's heart. So it's very clear. Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining about Prem Bhakti. Before that, he explains about Bhav Bhakti. First, one has to internally, one should be able to love Lord, should be enjoy the ecstasy of engaging in oneself in Lord's service. And it's not that the devotee doesn't get the taste. Sometimes we expect too much, and that also in no time. Okay, because we are from such a generation that we require everything, we want everything instantly. But devotion life is a gradual process. Prabhupada repeatedly said this. It's a gradual process. It will go with its own speed. And until unless Krishna don't want, one will not get the topmost position. There is no material calculation, there is no mathematical calculation that if you chant so many rounds, sometimes people circulate such messages. If you chant 10 crore names, then Krishna will be bound to give you Krishna Prem. No. Krishna, you cannot bound anyone. Okay. Yes, you can bound Krishna by your love. That can happen. Okay. So Krishna can be bound only by love. So demonstrating Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the epitome of Krishna consciousness. Vana dekhi brahmahaya Jai Vrindavana. Vana dekhi brahmahaya Jai Vrindavana. Shaila dekhi mane haya Sei Govardhana. Shaila dekhi mane haya Sei Govardhana. Jaha dekhe nadi taha Mana ye kalindi. Jaha dekhe taha Mana ye kalindi. Mahaprema veshe Prabhu Pade nache kandi. Mahaprema veshe Prabhu Pade nache kandi. So even while seeing material things, A prema bhakta, even when he sees material things, he remembers Krishna. A normal mountain, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is seeing some other mountain, he is thinking it's Govardhan. Some other river is thinking it's Yamuna. Not just thinking is absorbed in that. Some other forest, he is thinking it's Vrindavan. So everything will be in Krishna consciousness. Yomam pashyati sarvatra. Sarvam chamay pashyati. A Lord's pure devotee, there is no reason for him to not to be Krishna conscious. Everything, any object will trigger Krishna consciousness. When Srila Prabhupada was on a flight, he was watching a movie of Charlie Chaplin. And the disciples were reading Srimad Bhagavatam. They opened their Bhagavatam, started reading because television, Maya. And Prabhupada is enjoying and he is laughing. And the disciples were bewildered. What is happening here? Then Prabhupada suddenly, he said, see Charlie Chaplin, Ansh of Krishna, Hasya Shakti. There are different mellows, there are different emotions, Hasya, Raudriya, Bibhatsa. So he said he is the Ansh of the Hasya Shakti of Lord, the emotion of the Lord. So this is what Srila Prabhupada is, a pure devotee. So pure devotee's vision is something else. Okay, and as a Vaidhi Bhakti, you cannot imitate that. If we try to imitate that, our problem is that even if we see Krishna, or even we see Krishna's deity, even if we are hearing Bhagavatam, even if we are chanting the holy name of the Lord directly, we will be remembering material things. That is the difference between a pure devotee and a sadhaka. So, why I was just talking about all these things? Because if Krishna is merciful on demons, then what to talk about a Shraddhalu Bhakta? What to talk about a Vaidhi Bhakta? And what to talk about a pure devotee who is on Bhava stage? And what to talk about a devotee who is on a Prema stage? There is definitely a difference between the liberation of these devotees. In Ambrish Maharaj's pastime, Lord Vishnu recites, he speaks to this Durvasa Muni that how can I leave my devotee? Je dara gara putrapta pranan vittam imam param. Who leaves everything for me? Their wives, their children, their family, their money, their opulence. One who is leaving everything for me, how I can leave them? Katham styaktum utsahe. I will never leave them. Even if they are favorable sometimes or sometimes unfavorable. So a devotee should always be hopeful. And here, in the next purport, there are many such debatable issues Srila Prabhupada is highlighting from the conversation of Parashar Muni and Maitreya Muni, where he is talking about Jai and Vijay's liberation. So you can again go through with this, but I just want to add up from Sandarbha, Krishna Sandarbha, there is Jiva Goswami again writing something which is not mentioned here. He is very clear and very strong in his point. In some scripture, it may be said that those who hate that Lord attain liberation. That the Lord attain liberation. In some scripture, it may be said that those who hate the Lord attain liberation by the power of thinking of them. But it is never said that all of the haters of the Lord are given liberation by the avatars of their source, Vishnu. And he gives example, clear example. He gives example from Bhagavatam of Ven, who was hating Vishnu, but he never got liberation. Also an example of Kalnemi, Devta Asur Sangram. There was a Daiva Asur Sangram in which Kalnemi was killed by directly Vishnu. He was also not liberated. He again took birth as Kansa. So it's not necessary, and Jiva Goswami in this Krishna Sandarbha very clearly highlights that other avatars of Vishnu or even Vishnu, even some Asur gets killed by Vishnu, No guarantee of getting liberation and not necessary. But if somehow or the other one gets killed by Krishna, he will definitely get liberation. And there are so many examples. Aho bakiyam stanakala kautam jigham sayad apyat sadavi lebhe gatim dhatri uchitam tato anyam kamva dayalum. Sukdev Goswami, that's why got attracted to Krishna, and especially Krishna and only Krishna. And that's why he gives a Mahavakya. The Mahavakya for Gaudiya Sampradaya is Ete Chamsa Kala Pumsam Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. So I searched from ChatGPT also. Is there any demon who got liberated by Vishnu? Even he gave up. So, because this can be countered, many sampradayas will be against with this. So, I am taking advantage and undue advantage in this class, but usually I will never, pass such statements even from authorized sources also, because this may create controversies also. So, this is written in Krishna Sandarbha by Jiva Goswami. So, I will end with one statement here of scripture. Ayam hi Bhagavan kirititah samsmritasya dvesha anubandhenapi akhila sura suradi durlabham phalam prayachati kimuta samyak bhakti matam. Again the parallel statement is given in Vishnu Puran. This Krishna, glorified and remembered, bestows the rarest results to both devatas and demon, even by their connection through hatred. What to speak of giving results to those who are completely devoted. So my dear devotees, never be hopeless. Okay? Krishna is all merciful and we will definitely get mercy. There is no doubt about it. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. If there are any questions or comments,
Hare Krishna. In the second purport, it's mentioned that even Shishupal got liberation because he was constantly remembering Krishna. Shishupal got liberation because he was constantly remembering Krishna, although in the negative fashion. We hear the shloka where Anukulasya Sankalpa Pratikulasya Varjanam. So Prabhupada clearly says that it should be Anukul thinking, not Pratikul. Then only it's beneficial, otherwise it is not. But here even they are getting liberation or salvation, although merging in the Brahma Jyoti. So how to understand there? Then what's the need of thinking favorably also? Let them think unfavorably. What of thinking favorably? Let them think unfavorably also. That is also beneficial then.
So that's why this Kaimukya Nyaya. What about if this is about this, then what about that? So Bhagavatam many times he's again and again he's using this Nyaya. Ki what about this? What about a devotee? What about? So we have to understand the liberation between a demon, what demons or the unfavorable meditation on the Lord, and such person who is getting liberation, and what is his destination. And if you see the favorably one who is engaged in service of the Lord or meditating on Lord, and what is his liberation. So there is a difference in the class of liberations also. So there are people who will prefer first class liberation. There are people who will favor second class also. And there are people who will adjust with the third class. Okay. It's now depend upon a devotee's choice what to do. But Prabhupada, being an Acharya, he's giving a very crystal clear understanding that don't ever think that the liberation of a demon is the same as a devotee. That's why a devotee usually even never aspires for impersonal liberation. Devotee thinks that is hellish. This is what repeated in the purport also. Prabhupada is stating there that Kaivalya Narkayate. Why it is Narkayate? Because नरक में जाने वाले जो असुर है उनको वो मिल जाता है. ऐसे लोग वहाँ पे गए, अभी मैं वहाँ पे क्या करूँ? Just imagine, people who are just going to hell, those people are there, and will you like to join those group? Even usually, devotees will like to be always in devotees circle. They don't want to be in the circle of even opulent people. Even Swarga, okay? What to talk about demons who are getting liberation, and that also impersonal liberation. So it's a choice of a devotee, but usually devotee never ever chooses even the Sayujya Mukti. Then what to talk about choosing that liberation or unfavorable meditation on the Lord? That itself is distasteful. The process of unfavorable liberation will be distasteful. It will not be tasty. Susukham kartum avyayam nahi hoga wo. Okay? But when you practice devotion favorably, it will be very sweet. Adharam madhuram, vadanam madhuram, nayanam madhuram, madhuradipati akhile, you will find everything sweet. Okay? But Aghasur ke mukh mein Krishna gaye the na. Sorry, Bakasur के मुख में कृष्ण गए थे, क्या बकासुर को स्वीट लगा? नहीं लगा स्वीट, नो? अगासुर, ये इवन दैट डीमन जिसके मुख में हाथ डाला, द केशी डीमन, सो उनको तो इट्स फॉर द डेथ, इट वॉज नॉट एट ऑल टेस्टफुल. सो दैट्स वाई इफ वी रियली वॉन्ट टू एंजॉय दिस लाइफ ऑल्सो एंड द नेक्स्ट लाइफ ऑल्सो, द फेवरेबल डिवोशन इज द ओनली ऑप्शन. Thank you. Any last question? Yeah. Okay. ठीक है.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in the purport it is mentioned about Parashar Muni, and I was inquisitive. Why is there any reason why he didn't tell about Jai Vijay? Because in the purport Prabhupada mentions that it is not happening every millennium. So, is there any reason, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
There are many contradictory statements which are to be cleared, and that's why such scriptures have conversation between the sages, and those sages deliberately take this conversation, like Arjuna, who is deliberately asking question on the behalf of the living entities. That's why the future generation will not have doubts regarding the mercy of the Lord. And that's why such topics they deliberately come. And I don't know actually the historical reference, because I have not read the Vishnu Puran or Padma Puran. I just taken what is given in purport. Okay, thank you. Okay, yes.
Hare Krishna. Like you were mentioning this sloka Shantiravyartha Kalatvam, like every day Shantiravyartha Kalatvam.
Okay.
Like every day so much time waste in the
Waste.
just like that gets wasted. Like could you tell some tips how we can utilize our time nicely? Like,
Okay, I'm a wrong person to ask. If this question would have come yesterday, it would be great thing. Even I am struggling here. Yes, but if you see, if you're sincere devotee, he used to waste time earlier a lot, but when he is joining Krishna conscious movement, his graph or proportion, how much time he is wasting, will be less now. Okay, and gradually it will deteriorate day by day. But someone who is deliberately wasting time, then how can God will help us? Okay, God help those who help themselves. One should never get hopeless. One should not be getting always agitated कि I am not able to success. बार बार failure आता है तभी हम लोग agitate होने की जरूरत नहीं है. Okay, there can be some pitfalls. Again, one has to get up. Okay, and you can remember the history of Bilva Mangal Thakur also. Okay, there are pitfalls, there are fall downs, but still the recitation or the rendition of Bilva Mangal Thakur is recited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Such a great devotee. So our problem is that we recognize devotee by his faults and we catch faults, but Lord never does that. Okay, Lord always talks about the present. He always thinks about the present कि अभी वो क्या कर रहा है. Okay, so that's why never lose hope. The first thing, never get agitated. The proportion will be deteriorating if we are sincerely practicing. Okay, thank you. Last question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I want to say your voice is very, very clear. I can feel Krishna in your voice. Each word is clear. I want to say only this.
Thank you so much. Actually, why is the credit goes to the speaker? The clarity is very. मेरी voice अगर clear है, mic हटा दो बस, तो पता चलेगा कितनी clear है. So actually, the credit goes to the technology, which is coming from the Lord, and especially Srila Prabhupada, because earlier no one used to hear me, but coming to Krishna conscious and Srila Prabhupada mission, many people are hearing. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Last question. Yeah.
Prabhuji, you gave reference of Jiva Goswami. What was that, like Vishnu, Vishnu even, and that? Please, I have question. Means I want to first clear that statement. Get clear.
What is your doubt?
You said that that liberation even Vishnu cannot give, like you were saying, right?
She, I'm not taking this risk on my behalf. So it's Jiva Goswami stating this. And you can read the translation from His Holiness Bhanu Maharaj, Krishna Sandarbha. And in that, you will find such statements. Krishna, since he is able to attract the mind of a person who thinks of him somehow or the other forms of the Lord do not have this nature. Very clear. Again, I repeat, Krishna, okay, they all attain liberation by the great power of Krishna, since he is able to attract the mind of a person who thinks of him somehow or other. Other forms of the Lord do not have this nature. Thus, they do not liberate the demons. Veena, King Veena, though a hater of Vishnu, did not attain liberation, since he was not absorbed in the Lord. This is coming from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 5th chapter, 48th verse.
Okay. Sure. So what about Lord Ram and Lord Narasimha Dev? Means just that question came.
See, there are principal incarnations of the Lord. And we are specially talking about demons getting liberation. We are not talking about the all mercifulness of the Lord right now. We are just talking about demons who are liberating. So in that case, if there are any examples, if other incarnations are liberating demons, so you can comment on that.
No, by when this Ramayana, if you see, when the demon got killed, right? So
I never heard such statements where...
in front of Ram, Lord Ram, he also burned the bodies, right? That time when...
Pardon?
When the both side, they had Vanar Sena and then demons were get killed. So there was arrangements for burning their body front of Lord Ram, and in front of Lord Ram only they died, right? So they didn't got any liberation.
So the liberation, there should be a clear, crystal clear, either verse from a scripture. So there can be kathakars who are saying this, and we have respect for them also. So right now when we are talking about this particular aspect, so I am quoting from Jiva Goswami's statement, and I am not that much capable to counter such type of arguments. That's why usually we don't say this in a general class.
No, I'm not.
No.
I never asked question.
I can understand.
What about Lord Narasimha Dev? Because when he was killing Hiranyakashipu, and there was it is
Again, Hiranyakashipu got a birth.
But what he got birth? But what about the demons who were there?
Is there any reference about that?
In 7th canto it says he was killing like anything.
Killing, but about liberation. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna.